Increasingly, big cities are the wealth producers, the creators of a state or province's gross domestic product and its power base. With Washington, D.C. stuck in gridlock and many state governments unable to agree on issues, metropolitan areas are finding ways to move forward on their own. Two of those cities drawing national attention, Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Economics is one of the main drivers of the shift in power from federal and state government to cities.
What Washington can learn from America's cities.
Who Needs Washington, D.C.? It's a new segment on NBC's Meet the Press. One of the first guests, Oklahoma City Mayor Mick Cornett. Meet the Press host Chuck Todd cited as an example that cities are solving problems without the help of the federal government.
There are cities across this nation pulling themselves from the depths of desperate economic times by rolling up their sleeves and going it on their own, with little of Washington's help or dysfunction.
A recent study concludes that 600 cities across the planet produce more than 60% of the world's gross domestic product. Oklahoma City and Tulsa are both on that list.
There are intermingled megalopolis regions where one city has grown into another, and those are really the powerhouse economic engines right now in the nation.
Russell Evans is executive director of the Stephen C. Agee Economic Research and Policy Institute at Oklahoma City University. I-35 runs from Minnesota to Texas, but he says it's the corridor between Austin and Oklahoma City that is becoming an economic powerhouse.
That's the third fastest growing population region in the United States right now. It's the fastest growing collection of jobs in the United States right now is this I-35 corridor that stretches from, south central Texas all the way up to Oklahoma City and beyond.
And in Oklahoma, the two major metro areas produce most of the state's gross domestic product.
Oklahoma City and Tulsa combined account for about 3/4, 75% of our state's gross domestic product. I mean, it is the state's economy.
The Oklahoma Municipal League represents the interests of cities and towns at the state capitol. Carolyn Stager is its executive director.
I think in every regard. I think the state could look at how some of the cities have functioned and operated, and I think it takes a grassroots effort. It takes buy-in from your citizens, and then I think it takes living up to the commitments that you have made.
Oklahoma City State Senator David Holt has served in the White House, Congress, state government, and City Hall. He says cities are becoming more important because of economic strength and good governance.
In this case, effectiveness is power. Cities are showing, especially in Oklahoma, that they are simply more effective at governing than the state and federal levels. And certainly in America, yeah, you have cities that are more powerful and have larger economies than some nations around the world.
And the reason for that is really pretty simple.
Why cities are doing a better job? They have to. They have the core responsibilities that we depend on every single day. When you turn on your faucet, put your trash on the curb, call the police or the fire department, when you take your kids to a park, these are all city functions.
Senator Holt believes that over time, the shift in power will only become more evident.
I do think this is an ascendant time for cities, and I believe that the next century, cities will be the most important level of government in America. I think mayors are going to have the level of respect that today we often give to governors.
The next big test of the influence of Oklahoma's biggest cities will likely come next year, when the legislature will face Oklahoma City Mayor Mick Cornett and Tulsa Mayor Dewey Bartlett Jr., who want changes in the way cities get money to operate.
We are the only state where cities and towns do not receive ad valorem for general operations. The majority of that goes to the counties and the schools.
Cities have to rely almost exclusively on sales tax income to pay for operations. Bartlett and Cornett want that change to produce a more stable income. Senator Holt says even if the cities don't win this fight over tax sharing, the discussion will bring up other issues.
What is so important and has to start happening is the legislature has got to stop punishing cities. They're the level of government that is doing absolutely the best job compared to the federal and state governments. We need to be helping them, and if nothing else, just leave them alone.